September 11th, 2001, a date that will forever be etched in the memory of the modern world. For commercial airliners, 19 hijackers, 2 towers, nearly 3,000 innocent lives lost in a matter of hours. And behind it all, one man, Osama bin Laden, the mastermind, the ghost, the most wanted criminal on earth. For 10 long years, he vanished from sight. No photos, no videos, no traces. But behind the scenes, the world's most powerful intelligence agencies were closing in. This is the untold story of the greatest manhunt in modern history. A betrayal, shadows, surveillance, and a final raid that brought justice in the dead of night. Osama bin Mohammed bin Awad bin Laden was born in 1957 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The son of a billionaire construction magnate, Osama grew up with wealth, privilege, and religious education. But while others were drawn to luxury, Osama was drawn to ideology. In the 1980s, he joined the Mujahideen in Afghanistan to fight the Soviet Union. There, in the chaos of war, he built connections, funded fighters, and developed a worldview shaped by radicalism and resentment. By 1988, he formed al-Qaeda, a shadowy militant group with a single goal: to expel Western influence from the Islamic world by any means necessary. His ideology spread like wildfire, fueled by anger, poverty, and geopolitical wounds. And then he struck. On September 11th, 2001, the world stopped, for commercial airplanes were hijacked by bin Laden's operatives. 2 crashed into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. A 3rd struck the Pentagon. The 4th, United Airlines Flight 93, was heroically taken down by passengers before reaching its target. The attacks left 2,977 dead, over 25,000 injured, and millions traumatized. In a video released weeks later, Osama bin Laden claimed full responsibility. For the U.S. government, the mission was now clear: bring him to justice, dead or alive. But catching Osama bin Laden was far from simple. Immediately after the attacks, he fled into the treacherous mountains of Tora Bora in eastern Afghanistan. In December 2001, U.S. forces nearly captured him. Intelligence pinpointed his location. But in a critical decision, Afghan militias were tasked with securing the area. Bin Laden slipped away, likely crossing into Pakistan. From that moment on, he vanished. He stopped using phones. He cut off all electronic communication. No interviews, no recordings, nothing. He became the phantom of jihad. The CIA, NSA, and FBI launched the most expensive high-tech manhunt in history. They used satellite surveillance, drone patrols, torture-based interrogations, wiretaps, dead drops, and informants. But for years, every lead was a dead end. False sightings flooded in. In Iran, Yemen, Sudan, even Somalia, bin Laden was seen. None were real. Frustration grew. So did political pressure. Was he even alive? Then, in 2010, everything changed. For years, the CIA had heard whispers of a trusted courier bin Laden used to pass messages. His name? Abu Ahmed al-Qaeda. The breakthrough came from a detainee held at Guantanamo Bay. He mentioned al-Qaeda as the only person bin Laden trusted. That tiny detail started a chain reaction. In August 2010, surveillance tracked al-Qaeda to a mysterious compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. It didn't match the typical terrorist hideout. There were no satellite dishes, no phone lines, but the house had 18-foot walls, barbed wire, trash that was burned rather than collected, and an odd man who walked the yard for hours without ever speaking to neighbors. They called him the Pacer. The CIA spent months watching the house. They used a CIA safe house nearby, drone surveillance, thermal imaging, even agents posing as vaccination workers to collect DNA. Inside the compound lived 2 brothers believed to be couriers, several women and children, and one mysterious tall man, always hiding. Was it really bin Laden? There was no photo, no audio, no confirmation, but CIA analysts were 95% sure. Still, it wasn't enough. They needed a president to make a decision with zero guarantees. President Barack Obama gathered his national security team in March 2011. They debated for weeks. Airstrike or ground raid? What if it wasn't bin Laden? What if the Pakistanis interfered? In the end, the choice was made. Operation Neptune Spear was greenlit. The team, SEAL Team 6, also known as Dev Group. The mission, enter Pakistani airspace without detection, infiltrate the compound, confirm bin Laden's identity, and eliminate him. The date, May 1st, 2011. At 11 p.m. local time, 2 stealth Black Hawk helicopters took off from Afghanistan. At 12:30 a.m., they crossed into Abbottabad under cover of night. One chopper experienced rotor failure and crash-landed inside the compound. The SEALs adapted instantly. They breached the compound, cleared rooms, and neutralized targets. On the 3rd floor, they found him. Osama bin Laden stood in the hallway. He ducked back into his room. SEALs entered. 2 shots, one to the chest, one above the left eye. Bin Laden was dead. The SEALs quickly secured computers, flash drives, notebooks, bin Laden's personal diary. They destroyed the downed helicopter and escaped in the backup chopper. Back at base, DNA was tested. 100% match. Across the world, crowds gathered in Times Square, outside the White House, and at Ground Zero. Some celebrated, some wept, some doubted. In Pakistan, anger erupted. The raid had happened just 0.8 miles from a military academy. Did Pakistani officials know? Why was bin Laden hiding in a mansion for 6 years without detection? The U.S.-Pakistan relationship strained, trust shattered, and conspiracy theories spread like wildfire. The data recovered from the compound showed bin Laden wasn't retired. He was planning more attacks, coordinating with cells, writing in his journals about targeting President Obama and General Petraeus. He lived in isolation, cut off from the outside world, yet remained the brain behind terror. The myth of bin Laden as a cave-dwelling fugitive was shattered. He was hiding in plain sight, in a custom-built fortress protected by silence and loyalty. Osama bin Laden committed one of the most devastating crimes in world history. He manipulated faith, exploited suffering, and built an empire of fear from the shadows. His death was a milestone, but not an ending. Al-Qaeda survived. Other groups like ISIS rose his absence. Terror didn't vanish. It evolved. But for a moment, the world exhaled. The man responsible for September 11th was gone. Not tried in court, not imprisoned, but hunted, and finally stopped. Osama bin Laden's story is not just about terror. It's about the long, painful road to justice. A road paved with loss, sacrifice, and relentless pursuit. It's about technology, betrayal, human intelligence, and the quiet warriors who operate in the dark. The man may be gone, but his shadow still lingers. Because sometimes, the worst criminals don't wear masks. They wear purpose. And justice must chase them no matter how long it takes. If you found this story informative, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a deep dive crime story. More untold truths are coming. Stay vigilant and stay curious.